Visit Powerful Products right now. Power your life with the Goal Zero Yeti 1250 portable off-grid system. Powers your refrigerator, TV, computer, cell phone, and all other electronic devices, whether you're camping with family, friends, or need a secure backup in the event of an emergency. The Goal Zero Yeti 1250 is the ultimate portable power system, period. Power your life now and click the link below. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning in to AMTV Alternative Media Television. It is, of course, October 22nd, 2013. I did a video a few days ago on Friday titled Warning, Stock Market Bubble to Crash Worse Than 1929. Since being widely circulated around the internet, but I wanted to point something out very specific. Nowhere in this video did I say that the stock market, that the Ponzi scheme bubble that we are currently in couldn't go much, much, much higher. We are clearly in a stock market bubble, but the problem is, instead of it just being an asset bubble, instead of it just being in real estate or the stock market or let's say U.S. Treasury bonds, for example, we are now the bubble. America is the bubble. And this can go much, much higher. I point out that Google just hit $1,000 per share. A lot of people think and feel that we are in a tech bubble. There's a strong likelihood that we are. But the problem is we, in America, are the bubble now. This comes on the heels of comments days later coming from Marc Faber, Dr. Doom, as he is known. He's the publisher of the Gloom, Boom, and Doom Report. He says that the Federal Reserve could up quantitative easing to up to $1 trillion a month or more. He says that the question isn't whether or not they will taper, whether or not the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, and now old Yeller Yellen, who's taken over, who's just much of the same. It's not a question if they'll taper, if they'll begin to withdraw QE. It's how high they'll raise it in the coming months. He says the question is not tapering. The question is at what point will they increase the asset purchases to say $150 billion, $200 billion, or $1 trillion a month, Faber said in a Squawk Box interview. I'll put this link in the description box. You can watch the brief video here. Of course, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, hitting an all-time high. So it really is, the game is, Peter Schiff has said this, many people have said this, I've been saying this for years myself. Of course, we're continuing to be ignored. Once you start tapering, once you start the bailouts, you'll never stop. It'll never end. The bailouts have to get stronger, swifter, and the proof is in the pudding, folks. So again, I want to point out to you, nowhere am I saying that the stock market and the bubble that is America can't go much, much higher. I think, personally, it probably does. We're probably looking at Dow 20,000 or more. You know, I hate to give out specific numbers as predictions, but that's the type of bubble we're in. And it will be catastrophic when it pops. And this is what I'm pointing out. This is what a common sense mind is pointing out. The catastrophe that is the United States of America and exactly where it's headed. Payrolls today in the U.S. rise less than forecast. More proof in the pudding that the fundamentals are just clearly not here. We've seen this with growth projections and GDP figures that have come. Literally every GDP print that's come post-2008 has been piss poor, to say the least. The only thing keeping the market at these all-time highs is artificial stimulus. More proof in the pudding. The headline report on CNBC this morning, weak jobs report signals longer Fed easing. Longer Fed easing. Dow Jones up 62 points as of today. S&P 500 up about 7. So the proof is in the pudding, folks. Again, it's not a question. I'd listen to Marc Faber, Mr. Doom. It's not a question of when they're going to taper. It's when they're going to increase the asset purchases. Whether or not they're going to take it from 80 billion to 100 to 200 to 500 to $1 trillion plus is really the question. And it's what we need to be looking for. Of course, this is a great opportunity to look at things that are tangible, that are real, like precious metals, gold, silver, copper, palladium, and just any kind of tangible investment, food, air, water, the basic necessities to life is really where I think the smart money has moved. People like Jim Rogers, very wealthy investors, have been long proponents of commodities because commodities work out in a deflationary collapse. They also work out in an inflationary collapse. Now, Faber also mentions, and he might be conservative here, in my opinion, that at some point this asset bubble, when it pops, is going to potentially lead to a 50% drop and will end in massive wealth destruction for well-to-do people in America and around the world. Not just the average little groundling, but we're talking even the well-to-do, he says, will lose up to 50% of their total wealth. That might be a conservative estimate. I think it could actually be much, much, much worse. Because again, we're in a new bubble, and the crash will be worse than 1929. And this bubble can go much, 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 much higher than it is today. I'm Christopher Green. Get it out. Make it viral, hard-hitting and in your face. You've been tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television.